Let's get to the issue of private jets. Executives' use of private jets has sparked heated criticism from congressmen, senators, even the President of the United States. Take a listen.
I'm going to ask the three executives here to raise their hand if they flew here commercial. Let the record show no hands went up.
You are not going to be able to give out these big bonuses until you've paid taxpayers back. You can't get corporate jets.
But these guys flying in their big corporate jets doesn't send a good message to people in Searchlight, Nevada, or Las Vegas, or Reno, or any place in this country.
What about the other side? Well, the private jet industry is hurting too, and they're fighting back. One company has even gone so far as to take out full-page ads. I've got one of them in my hand, and this was taken out by Cessna. In it, Cessna saying to executives specifically, one thing is certain, true visionaries will continue to fly in tempestuous times. Leaders recognize it's not about ego or artifice. It's about availing yourself of the full range of tools to do your job. Joining us now from Washington, D.C. in a Fox Business exclusive, we're thrilled to welcome Jack Pelton, Chairman and CEO of Cessna Aircraft Company, and Ed Bolen, CEO and President of the National Business Aviation Association. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Jack, I'll begin with you. It was worth it at a time when your company, your entire industry is struggling to take out an entire full-page ad. We know these things aren't cheap. To send a message. Why?
Well, we think it's really important that people understand that what they saw during those hearings doesn't really properly reflect what business aviation is all about. You know, business aviation today is out there serving small and mid-sized companies as a productivity tool. It provides humanitarian relief. And it really has proven over the many years that business aviation has been around to be a catalyst for companies to make money.
Well, you guys are under attack. I mean, we just sit there from Washington, D.C. and watch lawmakers from, frankly, both sides of the aisle saying that this is a horrible thing. I think most of the time, though, to be fair, they're focusing on companies that are taking TARP or government money. But, Jack, how is business? Give us a sense of what's going on in your industry right now.
Well, certainly our industry has been affected no different than the rest of the economy. We've had an extreme slowdown in new order intake. Unfortunately, we've had to scale back our production rates and lay off a lot of people. What we're worried about is, again, this misperception about what business aviation is all about is not getting the story not properly told in the public. You know, we represent 1.2 million jobs in this country, and we also provide a positive balance of trade. These are high-skilled jobs. They provide economic relief to small communities all over the United States that can't be served by the airlines, and they help companies thrive, who are the small companies and businesses around the United States that are so critical to our economic recovery.
Ed, it was an important enough subject that you took the time to write letters to Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, the majority leader of the Senate and the majority speaker of the House leader, and to the president as well, in these letters basically saying that to prohibit use, to send that message of discouraging companies from accepting and using business airplanes, there's another way here that should be looking for ways to increase general aviation manufacturing jobs to promote economic development in communities with commercial airline service and facilitate productivity and efficiency at companies trying to do this kind of business. Did you get a response from any of these leaders?
Well, we've had meetings with their offices, and the point we were trying to make that is, if you're trying to reach communities with little or no airline service, or hit multiple sites in a single day, or bring products to the market that you can't put in an overhead bin, or discuss proprietary information en route, business aviation is not only a good way to go, it's essentially the only way to go. And we want to make sure that the opinion leaders and the policymakers understand that business aviation is important to the United States, both in manufacturing and service jobs, but also in helping small and mid-sized communities be able to access the air transportation system.
Jack, I'm not sure people outside of maybe the C-suite or perhaps your industry understand in certain cases, because there are cases where it is abused, but in certain cases where private aviation is actually crucial to staying competitive in an industry, correct?
Absolutely, and that's what our message is. Day in and day out, there's many companies who load that airplane with engineers or technicians and people to get out to facilities that they may own, factories that they may run, or customers that they need to see. And as Ed mentioned, at places within the United States that can't be reached by commercial aviation. And this is a way to get them out to those facilities, get them back the same night, and be able to improve the quality of life of the people who work for those companies, along with be able to satisfy the customer requirements. And that's what a great deal of these airplanes are used for. It's not a C-suite tool at all.
Well, you're getting painted by a tough brush, Ed, because you're looking at right now companies that, I'm talking about some of these banks and perhaps AIG, getting us into massive problems in this nation that folks in the middle class and lower class had nothing to do with. Now their tax dollars have to pay for it. So can you understand at least the perspective that companies taking TARP might not want to be too flashy with the private jets, or at least divest themselves of that?
Well, but the community needs to understand that the stereotype that created the sound bites that you played earlier are not representative of business aviation in the United States. You know, only 15% of the time a business aircraft is in flight will a CEO be on board. 70% of the time, it's mid-level managers, it's engineers, it's technical people. So it's really a lot different than the stereotype that's been presented, and we shouldn't destroy an industry based on a stereotype.
I agree. Jack, it's so easy to take a swipe at a private jet because it's so visual. But in the end, this is minor compared to the billions that were lost in actual derivatives trading. So you're talking about two completely different things, and I think it's important as we finish up here that you put a face on this of the average worker in your company.
Absolutely. The average worker in our company is really the strength of our U.S. economy. It's an individual who could be a technician or a mechanic on our production line, or an engineer. The individuals who have good-paying jobs are paying the bulk of the taxes being paid in the United States, and this is an industry that we cannot afford as a nation to see destroyed. And that's exactly what's happening, the way it's being vilified today.
Vilified. Jack Pelton and Ed Bolen, please come back. We'd love an update on this situation. We're here to support your side of the story too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.